one and all, welcome back to another exciting episode of A Crown of Candy, brought to you by yours truly here at the Adventurer's Guide. I am your humble dungeon master, and with me, as always, are our intrepid heroes. Say hi, intrepid heroes.
Howdy.
Hi, Intrepid Heroes.
Nice. Awesome. Last we left our intrepid heroes, they were in a deadly ambush on the border of the Sucrosi Road on their way to Comida, having gotten a letter that that the emperor of the entire empire has grown ill, and therefore has in turn sent a letter to our friends here at Candia to arrive there at Comida for some festivities and whatnot. But as per mentioned, there was a brutal ambush where people were wounded. Some people were gotten knocked unconscious, but they walked away with just some minor battle scars as the most severe thing that's happened. You guys have found yourselves continuing after the road blocking. Gracinius showed up, secured the area, and has cleared the roadblock with some of his men. And you guys continue your way to Comida. Now there is a couple of days of travel left before you get to Comida, where you're able to, and in that time you're able to stay at some keeps and small castles of some lords and ladies who are allies of House Rocks. You see that you find that and if anybody wants to make a check, you can. But for the most part, you find that your stay is relatively uneventful. There's not any danger. You see that as I was saying before, the security's kind of tightened up a good bit. So there's not much in terms in the what means of people coming after you anymore. Is what I'm saying. We've all leveled up. We're all level 4 characters now. The party is all on the same level. Even our level 2 monk, Aspen, playing the Princess Chorish Rocks, is now finally got their subclass, and we will see what they do with that. Last question before we really hit the bricks here. I asked a little bit last time if there's anything you guys wanted to do in terms of prep there at the end, but this is the final day as you guys arrive at the city. Is there anything you guys want to talk about, or is there anything you want to bring call to attention? Is there anything you want to do before we get there?
I just want to make sure everybody knows the plan once we get there. Y'all go up to the king's room. I'll bring him up before, and we can tell him that we got attacked before anybody else does.
If everybody else is cool with that, I mean, I don't know. So you're not in Comida yet. Do you want to go shopping once you're in Comida, yeah, you're still kind of in Candian borders territory right now. So you're not really shopping for you being the princess of Candia. You're not really shopping for anything you probably don't have already. You know what I mean? So with that being said, the morning sun bathing into the windows of this beautiful into the keep, fast forwarding you guys into the carriage, and as you cross, you are greeted with golden spires of grain, just beautiful leafy cathedrals towering over the city skyline, fruit merchants aboard dairy sailor ships, and the high drums of a convoy from the meatlands, boom, 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 approaching astride massive beasts, strange, trunked and tusked mammoth kind of creatures from the far north, the arrival of lords and ladies from across all the 6 kingdoms of Calorum. You see the great cathedral of Saint Arugula, and in all of its green splendor, there, the massive golden flaky building, the Cornucopian Hall. The massive horn style, kind of horn with all of the foods and sweets piling out of it. Massive buildings arrayed, statues of the heroes of the empire, And atop it all, the Great Pyramid of Food. You guys are arriving on this massive parade line kind of thing. Again, 6 kingdoms from all across the lands are all kind of coming into the front door, so it's just this massive, melting pot of culture and people all in this kind of parade line. You guys arrive here at the Cornucopian Hall, a giant, big, horn of plenty building, but it's like the horn of kind of dwarves around it, and there's who have kind of built it in this weird kind of structure. Huge gates open up, and inside is it's spiraling domes. Comida has always been a cosmopolitan, multicultural place where denizens of all the 6 kingdoms come to trade and talk. And of course, now, after the 20 years that it's been the capital of the Concordant Empire, so it levies 20% of the taxes from all the other kingdoms, and all of that wealth pours into this one place. So you see just a wealth of not just finance, but culture. Castle Candy is the capital of Candia, right? And Dulcington is, its largest town. But this is a city. And you just see how big the world is in comparison to tiny little the tiny little Candian castle. And Candy is big, but this is massive. So what do you guys do as you approach the cornucopia? I know Cora said they wanted to sneak away to go shopping. Anybody else? Or are you just kind of waiting?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the king.
You're talking to Amathar?
No.
Uvano is deep into the city. You guys remember? You guys are at the front. You guys are at literally the border.
Is there a magic weapon shop?
I'm sure you can find one. For the most part, I'm sure you can find one. But you'd have to take the time to do that.
Yeah, no, I don't have time to do that then.
So it's really gonna depend on what it is you're trying to accomplish in this amount of time. I'm pretty sure, especially since you were the one who said it earlier, especially for you, time is of the essence.
Yeah, don't have time to do that.
Course, do you sneak away? Okay. You can obviously do what it is that you're gonna want to do, but you see that you slowly open the latch on the inside of the carriage. You start to head out, and you see that Calroy kind of grabs onto one of your sleeves, not aggressively or anything like that, and he says, "My lady, do you really believe it is a good idea to do that right now? I understand your curiosity, but need we forget what happened mere days ago? Especially the you bleeding on the floor part." Um, hmm. Make a persuasion check. You see that Calroy just says, I unfortunately cannot leave your father's side. perhaps one of your pieces, perhaps one of the other counselors can be swayed. I can't. I simply being the spy master I simply cannot leave the king unattended to, especially now in such a crowded environment. You can just make a distraction if you want, but it's gonna like depend on what you try to do as far as your distraction is.
Do we hear this?
I assume if you're not being quiet, are you just screaming, "Hey, look over there"?
I don't know. I can't hear them at all. If you could turn up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not.
You're talking to Calroy, who knows you're trying to sneak off?
Yes.
Okay, Calroy doesn't look away because he knows you want to sneak off.
I'm gonna call for Grissimi.
You see that your caravan stops. Grissini circles back around, comes over, knocks on the window again, takes his helmet off. The door's already unlatched. Peeks his head in, and he says, "Yes, my lord."
The princess wants to go shopping. Can you guard her?
I can. He says, "I can dedicate a few soldiers to her for her to enjoy the wide variety of what Comida has to offer."
Is that okay, Amathar? Calroy?
You see that Calroy kind of just. You see that Amathar. Well, you see Amathar says. Well, of course. I mean, as they say, when in Vegetania and Fructera, do as. Yeah, you know, you should. I think you should go shopping if you want to. You see, Calroy says, "My lord, I don't believe that allowing Miss Rocks up to go shopping is a priority. I simply cannot ignore what has happened moments ago." Okay. You hop out. Amathar puts a hand on Calroy's chest as he kind of like lunges after you a little bit. She'll be fine, Calroy. Come. We have much to discuss, and we have merriment to make. You see that Grissini points to two off, not off duty, but they're kind of in the back of your caravan, assigned to the princess, and the three of you walk into the city walls there. All right. So you head off. The rest of you head off into the thing. You guys are stepping out of the carriage, and as you do, you see these huge transport beasts, just these huge like mammoth elephant things, these giant like crazy mutated cows, like almost like these cows make these giant boars and stuff, and just these barbaric warriors of the Meatlands that are wearing like bone armor with like giant gladiator weapons, like all great weapons, great swords, great axes. You see like a couple of them like kind of look towards you guys as they start to dismount. Do you guys do anything here at all or no?
Nope.
I'm assuming the palace is in front of us.
Yeah, like I said, everybody's starting to dismount and get ready to head in. Yeah, so they kind of look at you. You see that they part to the sides there as like walking down this giant like almost staircase built into the side of like one of these giant mammoths. This kind of like Celtic like Vengetorix looking guy who's like he's there speaking to someone else. Like there's like this woman next to him, this like 12-foot tall T-bone steak of a woman, huge axe over her shoulder, and you see that everybody kind of just like gives him the respect that he deserves in the way that like you guys would give Amathar the respect he deserves, and stuff like that. You hear as Amathar steps out. And as you all step out, you hear a voice that goes, Ah, right. Well, you know it's a candy and carriage, so you best hide your ale and liquor because they'll drink it all up. You hear Amathar says, "Oh, is that man Ray Jack I hear?" You see, like, this, you hear, in the flesh. The two of them kind of, like, run together and start to greet one another. This tiny, like, waxy, crumble, like, stale, hard cheese, like, tiny little cube of cheese, standing maybe, like, 3.5 feet tall, just like a little cube of cheese, just little bandana, handlebar mustache, and just like 2 arms, 2 legs coming out of it with these massive, like, piratey boots on, leaps into Amathar's arms, and it's just like, they're like fighting, not like really like beating the shit out of each other fighting, just more like, you know, how 2 friends would play fight when they see one another. You see Amathar goes, "You son of a bitch!" And he goes, "Oh, is that what you say then? Not very kingly of you, is it?" Amathar kind of throws him to the ground. The two of them start to, like, banter back and forth. Yeah, so you see, like, a couple other people come over. You see Sir Morris Bree, kind of like his Calroy Cruller of the Dairy Isles. Sir Morris Bree steps up, who's, like, again, this more of, like, this bigger armored knight, and he says, "Right, Monterey, we are at court." And you see, like, kind of like Reels and Manoray, who's, like, going absolutely off. And you see that Morris turns and he goes, "Your Majesty, King Amathar." And Amathar's like, "Morris!" He goes, "It has been too many years. Too many." They embrace. You look over at the dairy contingent. There are a bunch of sailors and other people. You see that there are 2 figures a little, like, away from each other. There's a young, finely dressed young girl about, you know, probably 2 years younger than Korish. You guys would probably, like, you know of her. Her name is Primsy Coldbottle. You know, she is this giant bottle of milk, just with 2 eyes and a mouth on it. Big old glass bottle. Literally has the words milk, like, written across her face. Just like a little part of a flesh with the word milk written on the side of her head there. And yeah, so she is the Duchess of Lacrimore. So she's like you know, the Dairy Isles doesn't have, like, a king or a queen or a prince or a princess. The closest they have is a duchess. And you guys see her. You also see just, like, sort of standing in the middle of a circle of, like, advisors and guards, listening to them as they explain sort of what's gonna happen here. Sort of a very, like fit bunch of, like, fighting men and women who are just, like, chiseled out. Actually, all of the people she's speaking to in that circle are all women. You see there's a huge group of women that have, like, swords at their sides, bows and arrows strapped to them, super, super light armor, sort of like naval armor. You see she's got, like, the one girl she's talking to has her leg up on the side of the carriage, is maybe, like, probably the most stunning woman you've ever seen, and she's absolutely gorgeous, but she's super gruff. She's wearing a cap. She's got short cut hair, swept back, kind of like a princely hair, long captain's jacket. You would know this as Annabelle Cheddar, who is also of the Dairy Isles. If any of this is something that you guys want more information on, you're welcome to roll if you'd like to. But yeah, you see that she's just kind of, like, laughing it up with the soldiers. You see that, like, she's got this, like, look to her of, like, absolute freedom. Like someone who's, like, you know, who's probably done these kind of things that you probably have seen Korish do, sneaking away, stuff like that. But, like, on a grander scale, and as somebody who's actually got away from it, like, got away with it. Just absolute freedom, nothing tying her down. And you see that she kind of, like, acknowledges the candy and carriage, kind of gives you guys a wave. Yeah, alrighty. You see that people start to file here into the Cornucopian Hall. You see, like, an enormous troop of Ceresian soldiers walk up, and just a number of, like, palanquins, just about, like, 10 Ceresian senators walk out. The only people that are here that are not here with royalty, these are, because, again, these are senators. So it's, like, Ceresian senators, they have a lot of, like, Ceres is just like a very populous nation, just a ton of people, huge group of people here, and like none of them are royals, but they are just they are like the governing body. You see like another guy goes, "Hello, people of Comida!" Like it's just throwing money off to the left and right sides, into the crowd, just like from your friends in Soresia, just throwing money at people there. And you see that Grassini, who's been traveling you with the whole time, he gets this look in his eye and salutes the man. Gets a look of like, kind of like a fan to their hero. Just kind of like glint in their eye, where he's just like, keep it together, be cool, keep it together. Diplomatic envoy from Vegetania arrives, the royal carriage with Prince Cabbage, the adult son of King Cabbage, the second largest, like with a huge symbol of the shining bulb overhead. You see that next to him is the Hierophant Rex Belizabeth Brassica, who's basically the pontifex, the absolute head of the Balbian Church. The equivalent of like our Pope. Just the absolute apex of, in terms of like title and status. You see the pontifex walks out, beautiful middle-aged woman, coiffed hair, incredible gown with like green and white, huge halo of a sort of like Elizabeth ruffle, like a Elizabethan ruffle around her neck. She looks out and steps onto like another archbishop who's like tweedy looking sort of onion guy, like a lot of books. She kind of like greeting a couple people. You see, she looks up and goes, "May the bulb shine on this blessed day, on the eve of Saint Turnipat. This feast is named. May we sup well, a blessing upon the city of Comida and the concordant empire." And you're all just kind of like filled with this presence of this woman that rules over the Balbian Church. As people, she begins to like walk away, and you see that she makes eye contact with Amathar, nods to him, and she heads in. We cut over to Chorus, who's been escorted into town. What are you shopping for? You're shopping for armor?
Armor that I'm allowed to wear.
Okay. Let me roll, because that's a pretty, that's a pretty specific buy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So like, are you visiting a specifically like an armor smith? Are you visiting a tinkerer? Like, what exactly? Like, what do you look like? What are you looking for?
So I'm only allowed to wear specific armor. Like, it has to be magic, I guess.
Okay. I would say specifically anything that counts as monk armor, they're probably not gonna have. But you could probably get like some bracers of armor that they probably could have for you, but they're not gonna be anything crazy since it's like general public purchases.
Okay.
Um,
Anything's better than my suit.
All right. You see that. Yeah. So the only real armor that like I said, the bracers of armor. bracers of defense. Sorry. Is a rare item. But yeah, okay. So you head up. You see he's got a shop out there. If you're interested in the bracers, they'll run you about 850 gold. I don't. Did you
I'm
bring?
16 years old. Don't ask me. Did my rich ass father, bring money?
Your father probably did not bring money to buy magic items. No. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, it didn't really come up in conversation. Like I said, I didn't really know you were gonna try to shop. You're more than welcome to. I'm just saying that 850 gold is kind of a lot, and I don't think anybody just walks around with 850 coins in their pocket.
You're like 20 pounds.
Yeah, especially gold coins. Do you have anything you'd like to trade that perhaps like might get you? So you might not be able to walk away with the bracers, but you might be able to walk away with something else. But yeah. So if you have anything to trade, it might help.
No, I don't.
All right. Um. All right. So you guys are there with Elizabeth and Oliver Onion Patch. That's the Onion dude, by the way, who uh, when Elizabeth gives the the nod to Amathar, Oliver gives the nod to Amathar, sort of scampers off, trips over his robe a little bit, and like wanders off towards the carriage. Everybody else being like begins to file inside. So you guys, like, let me know what you guys are doing. There's a lot of stuff going on. You guys are at like this huge feast. What do you guys want to do?
Do I see Ivano anywhere?
Ivana was ill when he sent you out. That's like one of the big reasons everybody's here. He's probably in his chambers.
I'm gonna usher Amathar and the other guy, I can't think of his name right now, up to his quarters with me.
Okay. What are you doing, Korish? Yeah. I assume that if you're not buying anything, are you returning to the festivities, or are you just getting lost in Comida? Okay. Are you staying at the feast, or are you heading off somewhere, or what do you want to do? You see, the big feast is like in preparation for the tournament that's happening later on.
Who's the other sword competitors?
You see that there is a sign up. You see that there is a sign up. You head over. The only name, if you want, give me a history check. If you know who some of these people are, but I will tell you that. You see that the names written on the sign up for the Grand Melee are Commander Grassini, Annabelle Cheddar, Sir Carradine Deeproot, Scrivoia Miaso, and one who is a Ceresian. One man who's a Ceresian and one man who's a Vegetarian. There's a oh fuck, what is his name? I forgot his damn name. Hold on.
I can't. Won't let me roll. Just waiting on GM.
Okay. All right. I guess I can switch the map.
Or I just don't roll history check because I have 0 and you tell me everybody. Dang it.
Okay. So you see that one of them, the Vegetarian man, is Sir Fennel. And the Ceresian is just roll a natural 20.
Yeah.
Hey, no.
Stupid shit.
All right. So the only real, other than like the obvious things, is that like Scrivoia is Bosch's wife. Grassini, you've met Grassini. Carradine is some like he's part of the Balbian Church in some way. I would say that you probably know, especially since like you like to get into trouble. You would know who Captain Cheddar is, who Annabelle Cheddar is. Annabelle Cheddar was originally the Duchess of Lacrimore. She is what Primsy was. And she was actually stripped of her title and could not inherit the throne and become the Princess of the Dairy Isles. So she would so she's the rightful heir, but something happened, and with that natural 20, I will tell you, and you can decide if you heard it publicly or privately. You know that she refused to marry. She didn't want to have a husband, and because she didn't want to have a husband, she was stripped of her land and title, and instead became the captain of the Colby, this ship, this ship, and you can actually see it there on the harbor as you right before you head into the big old horn hall, feasting hall thing. Her boat, the Colby, but she is the full-on captain, and she applies a whole bunch of like fighting men and women on her crew. But you know that she is participating in the melee. The last Ceresian chick, by the way, her name is Barley Buckwheat.
Do I have any? I doubt it. It's too late to.
You want to pick up laxatives?
Yep.
Huh. What would that even run you? Like, couple silver? Yeah. So yeah. It wouldn't be elixirs. It would just be like a laxative. Is it really like? They'd be more like weird horse pills. Like.
That'll work. I was able to get them.
Yeah. I say it cost you like 5 silver. Like.
Cool. Maybe not Annabelle because she's cool, but everyone else, I put laxatives in their food.
All right. Give me a sleight of hand check. Okay. You crack open this laxative. You start lacing up some of the food there. We will see the fruit of your labor. Um, tight. Uh, so you guys head in there into the group there. All sorts of like, I guess, staying together, except for like your. I mean, Orish is kind of You guys head off together. Orish is kind of there by yourself. So first of all, as you like walk up, the heralds announce you. You know, just King Amathar of the House of Rocks, first of his name, Duke of Cookieshire, Sovereign of the Realm. And you're like all announced as you enter the great banquet hall. You have never seen a spread like this. The only food that like you even have a complaint with is like the candy that is on the table, because you're like, oh, like this isn't authentic. You know what I mean? But like everything else is, but it's like good. It's kind of like how when people are just like, yeah, Taco Bell's not really like Mexican food. It's that's like what it is. Oh, righty. So you guys are doing that. People are like laughing it up. You guys, is before you head out, Amathar catches the eye of the meat lord Basha, and he gives like you this like straight up like violent look, like to the three of you. You just like recognize a battlefield look when he gives it to you, and just goes back to talking with the meat pie. And it is like it's rough, but you see that the Basha gives you that look. Is there anything else you want? So you guys are about to head up. Is there anything you want to do now? Like I said, there's like the sign up and stuff to make sure we cover that before we move on.
Did I sign up?
Yeah, you just sign up. You sign up for the Grand Melee. Mm-hmm. Yep, you scribble your name down for the Grand Melee. Easy enough.
So I need to sign up for the archer?
Yeah, if you want to do the archery, you'd have to sign up for it.
All right.
So you scribble your name down on the archery section. Are you participating at all, Red?
Nope.
Okay. All good. You guys see that like a courier comes down for you guys, but you're already heading up to see the emperor there. You guys arrive at the Great Pyramid of Food. You see that the Lady Plumbeline looks at you guys, who is Uvano's daughter. The last time you saw her, Red. Well, I guess not you. Probably not you. Because you were here recently. So if you did see her, this is a little bit moot. So I'll leave it up to you. Would you have seen Plumbeline the last time you were here?
I mean, I would assume so before I left to go to Candia.
All right, fair enough. You see she meets you guys at the door, and you see that she meets the eyes of Amathar, and she goes, "It is an honor to have you once again in Comida, Lord Amathar." And you see that Amathar's like, "Oh, quit that. It's good to see you." Like, very being plainly. She leans over, kind of gives him a kiss on both of his cheeks, and she says, "But I regret to inform you, my lord, my father is not well, and it would be for the best if we would limit the amount of visitors." But she's talking to Amathar, you see.
Yeah, he knows. I told him on the way.
No, like you see that she's roll me an insight check.
That die doesn't like me. I gotta find my character sheet now. That is a 10.
So first off, you get the feeling she's like mad, but not like mad at you, just like upset. She's just upset. You're looking at this brilliant, beautiful, competent woman who's just like grown up here in Comida, knows the workings of the empire forward and backward, and just can't be the empress, But you see that when you say that, she's essentially saying like it can be like it can't be all three of you. He's like he's that bad that like having all three of you in at the same time, specifically at the same time, would be really bad for his health. That's what she was getting at.
Calroy can wait outside. Me and Amathar need to go in though.
You see that Calroy kind of looks at you and goes, "Are you sure?"
You're gonna stand guard.
He says, "Very well. He says, I will be out here." You guys walk into the massive, resplendent, glorious bedchambers. You see a man who's only like in his 60s, but very much in his last few days. He looks up. He is like the man that you knew back in like the day, back in the military day, who was this like debonair, incredible warrior. He was like, and he was a dexterity-based fighter. You know what I mean? So he was just like not a jacked guy, but there was nobody faster with a bow. And you knew him. He had a wit, an incredible diplomat. He was an incredible diplomat, an incredible tactician. You remember the cheer that went up from all the different troops when he shot the arrow that killed Focaccia. You remember the first arms around your shoulder, like when you saw like Amathar fully like break down, like when he saw like that his sisters bodies, because they were killed in the war, and the things that he told everybody, like you guys were all in the same little platoon there, you know, in this quiet, like meant more, like what he said to you guys in these like those moments, and those very personal moments meant more to you in like the moment than any moment you can remember. You see like a very pale reflection of that man like look up, a little grape head of a man, little like graying mustache, purple, like the purple of his skin is faded. He looks up and you are face to face, this time fully, like actually face to face in his bedchambers with the Emperor of the Concordant Empire and the architect of 20 years of peace. You see that he looks up and he says, "Ah, Amathar, mine old friend." You see that Amathar kind of like bows his head, like he's like, "My emperor?" He says, "Ah, yes, your emperor, but I know of these two titles of friend and emperor. Which one I am most grateful for?" You see Amathar's like, you know, "Hey, you know, what's going on, man? Like last time I saw you, you were still kicking. What is this?" Too much good living, I suppose." They kind of like laugh. He coughs. You know, very much like the two of them joking back and forth. He, "I suppose you've already enlisted for the grand melee? Trying to cut a few bloodlines short tomorrow with a blunted sword, eh?" You know, making his last jokes. And he looks to you, Red, since you're the one that rolled the insight, kind of like with this look, this pondering look. And yeah, again, so it's this like, so let me first start by saying, you see that Plumbeline has like opened the door and is standing by the door. You see that she's, you know, Gustavo's looking at you kind of like, you know, with that look of like, you know, don't pity me. You kind of like look back to Plumbeline, who's there, kind of like trying to avoid your gaze, like she can't see this, she can't bear the sight of seeing her father like this. You know.
I'm gonna give her a motion to close the door.
Okay. Was I muted this whole time?
No.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So you see that she closes the door, and you see Amathar, like he motions for Amathar to come close. Again, just kind of like this whispered breathing. You know, he gets really close. feeble hand. Again, this is the hand that killed the Imperator of Syresia. You know, no, like, just shriveled raisin of a hand. You see, he says, "This is the moment I've dreaded most. Not death, you know, not you and me. We are like, it doesn't scare me. He says, what scares me most, Amathar? This empire works. It runs, and there are many people." And you see his eyes warmly go over to his daughter. "There are many people who will continue to serve to make sure it runs well. It does not need to be all the cleverness of the world, or the skill, or the technique, but it does need a good heart, Amathar. Do you... If your life were to take a surprising turn, if you were asked to perform a great service for the people of Calorum, do you think you would have it in you to do so?" You see Amathar looks and says, "For most people, no. For a man who I watched piss and shit himself in the trenches of Syresia, I would do what is necessary." You see that, like, Gustavo's trying to you know, keep, like, laugh, but, like, keep it together. You see he smiles and he goes, he, like, kind of, like, shares him a smile, laughs a little bit. Plumbeline raises an eyebrow and is kind of over this weird like, you know, she just watched the King of Candia tell her that he watched her dad piss and shit in the middle of a war, like in the trenches, and she's just kind of, you know, over it. You see that Gustavo says, "I think after the joust, when the last candidate I have to consider is named, I think I know exactly how I'm going to get my revenge on you for that prank of yours, Amathar. And I think my prank is going to last a lot longer." He says, you see they kind of, like, laugh, and you see that goes, "Best of luck in the melee tomorrow, and you have yet to answer my question." You see that Amathar looks, this kind of, like, this look of, like, I know what you're asking me, and he says, he says, you have yet to answer my question. You see that Amathar says, he smiles and he says yes. He squeezes weakly onto Amathar's hand, and you and the advisors are asked to leave the room, because, like, at this point Gustavo has kind of, like, gotten to that point of being absolutely too weak to speak. And you see that, like, Plumbeline walks with some advisors to take you out.
Plumbeline.
Yes.
I need you to gather everyone in power that was in the city prior to a couple of days ago.
Well, no one was in the city a couple of days ago. I mean, aside from other Fructerans, everyone's made their travels here as you have. What?
All the government officials that were here a few days ago.
Our government is very complicated. It would be very difficult to do so. I understand that most of what we rule as in Fructera here is our emperor, and unfortunately he's been unable to, as you see, have a conversation, let alone be gathered for an audience.
So if he's not able to speak or do his job, then that makes you in charge, correct?
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily, Captain. You understand that should he perish and not name a successor, that would be me, yes. But it seems that with the effects of the games going on later here tonight, that is likely to happen here relatively soon, within the next day or so.
Well, for the time being, we need to go speak somewhere private.
Very well. Is everything all right, Captain? You seem very distraught.
Well, my lady, I think we have a big problem going on here, and I think it's going to affect the games going on later.
Very well. It should be known, though, that should the games be interrupted, and I do hate to be morbid about this, my father is not well. Should he perish before the naming of the next emperor, politics would kick in, and notably, like, I would be named empress, but it's not certain, because there'd be a ton of, for lack of a better word, verbal paperwork that would need to be done. It's not just going to be a crown on my head in the matter of moments.
I'm aware, but for now, we're the two highest ranking people in this city, and you need to be aware of what's happening as well.
Well, then tell me what's happening, Captain.
Not here. We need to go somewhere private where nobody else can hear us.
Very well. I can assign a room, but I can assure you that many people will not arrive. As I said, word has gotten out that the Emperor is very ill. They will be trying their best to rest in time for the grand tournament, in hopes that their names can be considered for the emperor, the role of the Emperor. I doubt they will have time for discussion for politics, for lack of a better term.
See, that's where I don't think the games are going to matter. I think someone's going to attack and take the throne for themselves and ignore the games.
You see that she's kind of like being like starting to get like kind of like frustrated, and she says, "My dear Captain, it wouldn't matter if you yourself walked into the chambers of the Empire and slew my father before my very eyes. There would be no emperor named. Of course, that would fall upon me, but I wouldn't be able to make any sort of political decision within the matter of, I'd say, the first month."
I know. I don't think they're going to just kill your father. They might be coming for you too.
That would only complicate things more. That would mean that the next of kin, whoever was entitled for it next, would have to wait even longer. For someone who's attempting to seize the throne, if this is the plan, it is a very ill thought out plan that is not going to work the way they think it is.
They're going to try and collapse the entire system.
Do you have a suspect in mind?
When we were attacked, we thought it was Dairylanders, as was their appearance. As we started cutting off their heads and limbs, underneath it was the Meatlanders, wearing a disguise as a Dairylander. So I think the Meatlanders are about to run in here and destroy everything that has been ever built.
With all due respect, Captain, the Meatlanders to the north have never really been much for tactician. Regardless,
that's why.
But they're not. They're not dumb enough to march into the city's capital with 20 men and slay the Empire. They would be overwhelmed in moments. And even Basham Yasso himself knows that.
I don't think we're dealing with any normal Meatlanders. I think someone in their ranks has a brain and is directing them. and is telling them what they need to do. I don't think it's these marauders that are just going to run in here and stamp. I think somebody has a plan somewhere to burn the city to the ground and destroy everything.
I understand your concerns, but you understand you're making a shot in the dark, and if that is all you have, I'm afraid that I must dismiss what it is you're saying. I will advise my father to be careful, but that is all that I can do. Understand that I am not the Empress, at least not yet. My hands are tied.
Amathar?
You see that Amathar kind of is off to the side, and he says, "My lady, I can concur what my friend here is saying, but Red, you've got to hear her out. Do you understand how we sound right now?
We sound crazy as shit.
We're risking the entire balance of the Concord over a hunch. It could be just a rogue group of Meatlanders attempting an assassination on my life, a failed assassination, might I add. But if this tournament is what I think, if this tournament is what it is said to be, and that is the naming of the next emperor, all we have to do is survive the day.
You're not wrong. So we're both gonna enter then? Just in case this is a real thing and one of us needs to be on the throne?
Enter. I'm gonna enter. You heard, he goes, you heard the Emperor. I got a few bloodlines to cut short.
Would I have known that my dad? Could I put his name in there?
Amathar didn't have time to sign up yet because he was taking.
For him?
You can. You can sign up.
Like, can I put his name?
Yeah.
Okay. Because pretend like when I did that, when I did mine, I did his too.
Okay. Yeah, you see that he's just like, I don't have many days left in this. I don't have many days, left myself, and I'll be damned if I'm not cleaving the whole way to the end.
Well then, I guess I need to enter too. Sorry, Ivana, I'm not going to be here to protect you, but this is for the greater good of the kingdom. I guess I'm going to go down to that sign-up paper.
Okay.
Put my name on it.
You go down to the sign-up paper. First off, you see that Amathar's name is already on it.
Which one? Melee?
Yeah, for the Grand Melee.
Aren't there other competitions?
Yeah. There's other competitions. But it's important to know, does anybody not understand the rules of the tournament?
All I know is if we all join the Melee, only one of us can win.
Correct. So, the rules of the tournament are such you're all competing for favor. Essentially like a last-ditch favor from the Emperor that he is willing to do for you. And that's things like, you can get yourself, like, named. Like, you can be, like, lowborn. And if you were to win, have the Emperor make you highborn. Make you a noble. So that you have, like, your name means something. Or, in this case of talking about the next emperor, you can have your name considered to be the next emperor. Stuff like that. But there can only be one winner of each event. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, not an archer, so I'm putting mine down for fighting combat too.
All right.
Nobody doing the joust?
So none of you are doing the joust. One, two, three of you are in the Grand Melee. One of you is in the archery section. We move forward a few hours where you guys are rested. Some of you go to the bathhouses where it is just warm and oils that sink deep into your skin, making you feel good and relaxed. We're going to a battle set as we enter the grand tournament. We have not rolled initiative, but I will be revealing. I'm sure some of you have already been looking. The map for our grand tournament. Let me go ahead and switch the scene. The map for our grand tournament. We see that here in the center, obviously the main event is our grand melee. Off to the side here, we have our joust. Unfortunately, nobody will be participating in. And of course, the range off to the side, that is our archery section. You see that the city of Comida has gracefully set up a bunch of armor stands to act as targets, to not only test your accuracy, but to see how deadly that accuracy is. If we come down here to the, if we come on down here to the archery, we'll see that some of our contestants are already placed in here, including our friend Hopper Wicks. Yes, your mini is already in the box if you want to go ahead and take a look down there. Here in the Grand Melee, I'll have to replace, we'll replace you. Since you are now in the Grand Melee.
You just replaced me, didn't you?
Nope.
Oh.
It's the Grand Melee, here in the center. You see that off to the side here, in each of the stands, we have a bunch of the different, the nobles that are sitting there watching. We have a Primsy Cold Bottle there. In the next shot, you see Calroy is up in there in representation for Candia. Since Amathar is in the in the match, you see Belizabeth Brassica and
That's a black guy.
yep, Belizabeth Brassica and Senator Augustus Chibata there for Ceresia and Vegetania. Off to the other side, you see Basha Miaso cheering on his wife, Scrivoya, who is also participating in the Grand Melee. And then, of course, we have our contestants. Off in the first corner, we see that we have Amathar and Big Red off in one corner.
See, that's a great one for Amathar.
Off to the other side, you see Commander Grassini and Annabelle Cheddar off on the other corner. On the third corner is Sir Carradine Deeproot and Orish Rocks. And in the final corner, you see Sir Fennel and Scrivoya Miaso. Yeah, so I think this is a good time. It's better than ever to have our players go ahead and roll initiative.
Before we start, is there any rules about killing?
All of your weapons, so you're essentially given the same version of the weapon you're already using. So go ahead and use the stats you already have, but they are pacified. So essentially, like, your weapon cannot deal lethal damage. It's like it's been blunted. But you will be fighting as normal. So no worries.
I rolled a 7 for initiative.
I will ask for initiatives in a moment. Go ahead and open this notepad. Alrighty. Hopper, what'd you get?
8.
Yikes.
I mean, yeah, 8.
Course, what'd you get?
21.
Jesus Christ! Okay. Let me go
Oh,
ahead.
wait. No, never mind. Scratch that.
Alright. I have some NPCs to roll, so give me a moment. Talks amongst yourselves. If you have a game plan you want to settle or get together before then, while I do this. come back from that. So first up we have Cornish, followed by Sir Fennel, followed by Annabelle, followed by Carradine and Scrivoia. 7. Red, what is your dexterity modifier?
The modifier +2.
Okay, so you go before Grassini. And then Hopper, Amithar, Bam Bam. They'll just go last. Okay. We begin here in the Grand Melee, as each of you, some of you from the same flag, stare each other down here at the Grand Melee. The stands are filled with onlookers from all sides, and again, obviously, there's the representatives of the from the different nations who are also watching there on you. The first to act is Orish Rocks.
My movement speed now it is. Shouldn't this be higher?
Shouldn't it what?
My movement speed? I don't know. Because it was 30 when I was second level. I thought. And I get an extra 10 for being.
Do you have armor on?
Nope. I'm a monk.
Then it should be 40.
Oh. Okay. Could have swore it was more. Oh wait, that's not how. Sorry. How do you do it again? How do you move?
Well, you have to click your character first.
Really?
Yeah, and then you hold shift and press the arrow keys.
Man, I can't get to nobody.
You did, however, run straight into the center.
Well, I was trying to see how far 40 feet gets me. Not very far.
You can use the ruler if you'd rather do that before just running in the middle. If you press M, or if you see in the bottom right where the sliders are, one of them says M, change it to line because you're on, yeah. I mean...
Where's my day? Over here? Way over here?
Mm-hmm.
He's way over here. I guess we'll save our footing. And then I'm gonna hit him. I'll have just one attack. And then I'll do Fury of Blows.
All right. You approach Sir Carradine over there, just big old carrot dude, paladin of the bulb. Even on his shield is a giant carrot there with like a halo on it. Big old Karen, like earthworm Jim style face. And you run up next to him, eager to fight. You see that he looks at you and he says, "Ah, Princess Rox, what an honor it is to do battle with you inside of this pit. Understand that this is obviously for sport, and of course I will in no way be attempting to harm you."
Before he even finishes, I whack him.
All right, go ahead and make your attacks. Jesus.
Oh,
That's a crit.
That is a crit.
And I gotta roll 2 more.
now do it again.
Hold on. Nope. It was almost a 1, so I'll take the 13. But it's not 13. It is 12 and 13, so that is plus 4, so that's... Oh wait, Fury Blows, I can't use my sword, right?
You can use your sword
Oh, cool.
because your sword is a monk weapon.
Right, yes it is. So 16 and 15.
Those both miss.
What? He's got a high-ass AC.
Sir Karen is armored to the teeth. Like, he is heavy armor.
Well, my natural 20 crits the fuck out of
Oh,
me.
yeah, no, the 20 definitely hits. You see that, like, you approach him, he's just he's like, in the middle of his whole spiel where he's just like, "It is so good to do battle with you. You have grown since the last time I've heard of your appearance." And you just walk up and just stab him, like, just crack him over the side of the head with your, like, wooden sword. Crack, smack him with it. Go ahead and roll damage.
And then, how does the crit work again?
So, look at the damage. What's the die that you're rolling?
6.
So you're rolling a 6. So you get a 6 by default, and then you roll whatever your damage is.
So, 2, 3, 9.
So you do 9 damage, walk up, smack him on the side of the head. You literally hear his helmet just like clong, like reverberating.
I also wanted to use my superiority die and disarm him, or try to at least.
Well, shit. All right. What does he need to do?
They must make a strength saving throw.
Strength save. What's your DC?
DC equals 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your strength or dex modifier. Proficiency bonus 9, 10, 12,
12?
I think is what that would be.
Okay.
Am I
No.
right?
Because he's the one making the save. No. Whoever rolls wins ties. So he saves.
Are you sure that's how it works? Because I feel like every other time it's...
So it's always like the term attacker wins ties means whoever's actively rolling the dice. Because
no,
remember,
I'm the attacker, so
right?
I win.
No, so it's your 12 is the DC he has to hit or beat, right? He rolled it. He has a 12. He got a 12, so he hit or beat it.
Hit it or beat it?
Yeah, it's always tie it or beat it. But that's what the DC is.
But
When
only
you're
for
when
this
you're
scenario.
attacking, when you're striking someone with a sword, their AC is 18. You have to tie it or beat it. It's the same thing. But he got a 12.
But then if you get an 18, doesn't it? I don't know. Okay, that's fine.
If you're attacking, if his AC is 18, if you get an 18, you hit him. You go to disarm him. You lunge forward and attempt to rip his weapon from his hand. He kind of chops you off before you can get there with a shield. Before readying his hand, he goes, "Ho ho! You are striking." He goes, "Your form is quite unique. It is not one I've ever seen on the battlefield. You've grown much since the last time I've heard of you."
Wait. Martial arts. Make an extra unarmed strike when you take attack action. So I get another one?
As a bonus action, yeah.
Oh, it's a bonus action.
But you flurry of blows. You did
Right.
flurry of blows.
You're right, I read that wrong.
You can do key field strike attacks though.
No, I can't, because I already used Fury Blows, which is a bonus action.
Ah, okay, never mind. Nice. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Yes. Unless it's a bonus action. It is. Oh, shite.
Sir Fennel's is next.
And then.
And then is Annabelle Cheddar's.
And then.
Scravoya.
Okay,
You can
so that's
see
what
the
it is.
initiative
I
at the
didn't
top.
know. I wasn't sure how it went. If it went like this. It's terrible.
You're fighting him.
I know, but where is he?
He is deep in the initiative.
So I can't see him.
Not yet. He's like 6th.
So it's Roboya then King Elephant?
No, King Amithar is like one of the last people to act.
Oh, well then I can't see him. You lied to me. Who's after Roboya?
What are you talking about? You can't see. You can't see Sir Carradine. He's like 5th in the initiative. 5th or 6th in the initiative.
Who's after Roboya?
I don't know. I have to try to turn to tell you. Next in the initiative after Scravoya, because I have to do that, is Sir Carradine. Okay. You pass your turn? Who's next? Press the arrow pointing to the right. Under the initiative. There you go. Goes onto Sir Fennel. Obviously, like, heavy armor dude with a bunch of, like, the fennel stems sticking out the top of his helmet. He is going to, I guess engage with Sir Scravoya. Scravoya's AC. I should write that down before I forget. And he attacks with a do. Four. Tie, so he hits 1d6 plus 2. 5 damage to Scravoya. Mm-hmm. He tied it. So yeah.
How tall is Scravoya?
Scravoya is 12 feet tall.
Okay.
She is 12 feet tall, and she is a giant T-bone steak.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see he walks up, immediately turns on her, leaps at her, and comes down with a strike against her. Little vegetable dude going to war with the Meatlanders. We pass to Annabelle Cheddar, who is there off to the end. And you see that she's going to make a check. She's going to flank Carradine with you. Okay. She's going to make an attack and advantage. Oh, well, technically you guys aren't allies, so she doesn't roll with advantage. You can, but you only get the flanking bonus if it's an allied creature you're flanking with. Sure, you're in combat.
180. I feel like it's best if it's not for about this guy's ours.
Roll a persuasion check. Is that all you're saying?
I need to persuade her. She should just say yes because she's getting a bonus.
You'll see why.
That would be metagaming.
my mic was off this whole time. Tight. So Scrivoia is this kind of like giant T-bone. You can't really see your eyes, because the eyes are like hidden within the bone of the meat. Giant slab of meat. Looks up at her husband. Her husband gives her the thumbs up, gives her the nod. Scrivoia is gonna fly into a rage. No, she's a barbarian, is what she is. 15 on Sir Fennel. His AC is not 15. You see, she comes down heavy with this giant hand axe she's got, made of like sausage links and two like beef flanks, like flank steaks. Sir Fennel immediately cowers, absorbs the blow, and then she's going to attempt a grapple. Wolf. He's gonna make an athletics. He does not succeed. As the axe bounces off of Sir Fennel's off of his block. She reaches down with her other arm, fully palms him by the head, lifts him off the ground, and you see that his feet are just kicking underneath as she lifts him like 6 feet into the air. We go to Sir Carradine. Sir Carradine is going to use his action to disengage. 15, 20, 25, 30. You see that he ducks under the both of you as you both are swinging at him, runs to the center of the arena, bangs on his shield a couple times, and he goes, "Ha ha! Ladies," he goes, "ladies of the Concord!" He goes, "It is good to see you teaming up together. I believe in your," he goes, "I believe in your unity. Now, come at me." As he is now, at least seemingly more prepared to fight you than he was a second ago. We move to Big Red. It is your turn.
He is still pretty far. Oh wait. Why is it saying Amathar is 60 feet away from me? What?
Because you're doing 2 lines. You have to clear the lines. Press right click, and now do a line from you to Amathar.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's 25 feet away from you.
No, I mean, I'm not going after Amathar. That'd be dumb.
You're gonna have to at the end anyway. Or
yeah,
give up.
But that's
Or
the
surrender.
End. Alright. So... I'm not double moving. I'm aggressive as a bonus action. I can move up to my mood speed towards an enemy that I can see or hear. So I'm gonna go up to him. And then swing this fucking greatsword at him. So... That's a nat 1.
Oh god. Okay.
You want me to roll that again?
Well, obviously roll it again, just to see, make sure you don't kill yourself.
That's a 2.
That's not a 1.
D100?
Yeah, we're gonna do it, well, actually, we'll just do a D20. Just do 2 D20s, please.
2 D20s.
Yeah.
10 and a 1.
Alright. 10 and 1. So we'll do... you want odds or evens?
Even.
Even? You said, what was it, 10 and 1?
Yeah, 10 and a 1.
Alright. Make a dexterity saving throw, please. DC 15.
Fell off the table, and that's a 13.
You sprinting, you hype yourself up, sprinting into the center of the arena after Carradine, and just as you find that last foot, you play that last foot into the ground to get a nice, good old solid foundation before swinging this this sword on top of him. Your foot probably hits the only part in this sand pit that wasn't like raked, and it is just, it's almost like stepping on hidden ice as you fully slip on that last step, causing yourself to fall ass over tea kettle, and you fall straight onto your back. You hear the, like, you can literally, like, there's like an announcer that's kind of like doing a play-by-play, kind of like how I am right now. Who's very much just like, the princess of the Candy Isle starts off strong, heading off for the paladin of the bulb. The paladin of the bulb retreats into the center to get himself a better footage. I wonder who challenges him next. And he doesn't see him, but big our very own captain of the guard, Big Red heads in, charges in for a flank maneuver. He closes the distance, and you just boom! Ooh! After you hear everybody in the crowd simultaneously like wincing. Ooh! He finds himself a nice seat on the sand on his ass.
Can I action surge and try to trip him as I fall?
So you are prone, and by the rules of prone, I think it just makes your movement speed 0.
I thought prone meant you had to spend an action to get up.
If you want to get up, yeah. But other than that, yeah, you can't move. I'm sorry, you can only crawl. You have disadvantage on attack rolls, so you can try to trip him, yes. But attack rolls against you have advantage.
Well then I'm gonna action surge to stand up.
So it's just movement. How much movement do you have left?
Oh, you right. Yeah, I have. What was that?
Okay, so let me just explain this real quick before you make a move. In order to stand up from prone, it requires half of your movement speed. Meaning, if your movement speed is 30 feet, it requires 15 to get up, regardless of what action you use.
I have 20 left.
Okay, so then you can stand up if you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up and then I'm gonna action surge and swing at him again.
To stand up requires an action. Actually, I think to stand up is a bonus action.
I already used the bonus action.
No. Okay, no. Standing doesn't require any action. It simply requires that from your movement speed. So since you have 15 to spend on standing up, you can stand up. You can just stand up.
I'm gonna stand up and then swing at him again.
Okay, so you stand up. You said you action surge.
Yeah.
Okay. Boop.
I ain't gonna look like an idiot without trying to do this again.
Alrighty.
And does a 20 hit?
20 hits.
D6. 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 4, a 3, and a 2, and I can reroll the 2 for a 3. So that is 7 normal and 3 fire. Plus...
You quickly kick up to your feet, drawing your blade before you fully smack into him again.
I'm sorry, 11. It's 11. 11 slashing, 3 fire.
11 damage. 11 slashing, 3 fire. Alright. You cut into the back of him, big old swing as you hit him in his back. You see he winces from the pain before turning to you, seeing that Carradine is being jumped in the center. And you see that he says, "Captain, it is good to see you." He goes, "I regret to inform you that you have now, unfortunately, made yourself an enemy of mine."
Well, we all are fighting, aren't we?
He goes, "Never truer words, old friend. Never truer words." Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No, that's it.
All right, we move to Grassini. Grassini sees the scruffle camuffle happening there in the center. he's going to engage you here in the middle. And Grassini is gonna roll some attacks. D20. You see he walks up and he takes a swing at you, tries to stab you. Oh, he actually can't even be that close. He has to be there. Because Grassini has a spear. And you see he goes to stab at you, and it is the moment you fully slip and eat shit, and the spear goes like into the air, where you were, not where you are. As he fully whiffs, and Grassini coming out with a not so strong opening, aiming for nothing but air. We move over for the first time to our archery section, where Hopperwicks, you are the first to act here with your other competitors. I will explain it as such. You have in front of you seven essentially like lines of targets. Each line is worth some more points than the other, and they're in 50-foot increments. So the first line is worth 1, the second line is worth 2, the third line is worth 3, all the way up to the 7th line, which is the thing in the back, those the spots with the signs with the target in the back, in which those are worth 10. You're trying to accumulate the most points before the end of the event. So go ahead and tell me how many points you're going for, and let's go ahead and roll. Let's go ahead and roll an attack. I don't believe you have a bow with you, but you see that there are both bows and crossbows inside of the booth for you, in case you didn't bring one.
I'll pick up a crossbow, seeing that I didn't have one.
Yep, you pick up a crossbow, you put in one of the bolts, you take aim. How many points would you like to shoot for?
We're going for the furthest back.
You're going for 10 points?
Might as well.
Let's go! Alright, go ahead and roll me a ranged attack. So it's a D20 plus your dexterity modifier and your proficiency bonus. So you're rolling a D20 plus your dexterity modifier, which I believe is 3, correct?
Yes.
So plus 3 plus 2, so you're rolling a D20 plus 5.
9.
You got 9?
Yeah.
Damn, you take aim, and again, you were optimistic at first, but now that you're looking down the sights, the iron sights of that crossbow, you can see that target is real far. Look, it is a lot smaller than you anticipated. You take aim, you shoot it, and you watch the bolt go up, down, and just nosedives into the dirt. Your first shot is a miss. We move back to the melee with Amathar, who is also in the melee. You see that Amathar says, Red, you will not be having any fun without me now, will you? You see that he is going to... ooh, does he have the movement for that? He might. Let's see. Because if I recall, barbarians also have... Oh, their fast movement is until level 5. Unfortunate. So he's going to dash to join the fray. We come back to the archery with our first competitor. You see that you take your shot, Hopper. Your shot goes wide. You see people are I think he may have bit off a little bit more than he could chew. You see a nice woman steps up next to you. With her bow ready to take a shot. You see up next is Lady Linguina Freesia, who's this giant yellow hood over yellow cloak, yellow hood, two big pair of goggles, and just a bunch of pasta noodles linguine that hangs out of her face almost like an octopus's tentacles do. Out from the bottom, she pulls out her bow, which is a giant pretzel, with a bow, giant pretzel bow with a bowstring on it. She draws. She's gonna go for. Let me roll a d20 and see what she's gonna do. She sees you miss. She sees an opportunity to get a good lead. She's gonna go for 2 points. She's gonna make a roll. You see, she takes aim. Hold on. Here we go. She takes aim at this one here on the right. You watch she draws her bow, takes the shot, boom, nails it right in the chest. Linguina has scored 2 points and has pulled ahead. Finally is the last of the archers, this kind of like banana man, who's off to the side there on the other side of you. And this is Lord Chiquito Citron. You see, again, just giant banana man, wearing like a ranger's outfit, but like, again, just like these nice Highland green boots. Also has like, he is like a half-peeled banana. So like, he's got like the white from the banana showing and the yellow from the peel as like his clothing, with like the green boots and like some green straps to hold his stuff together. He has a tiny banana bow. He, not to be outdone by Lady Freesia, he's going to shoot for 5 points. And you see, he takes aim, draws his bow with a natural 20. Boom! Oh, well, that was the wrong person, so I guess, you know, she's gonna shoot instead. Takes the shot, cracks the one in the center. You watch the arrow punctures through and fully like punctures its way right out the back. It's a through and through on like a real thin part. Like he hits the dummy, not so much the armored target. Chiquito is up 5, Freesia is up 2, and our friend Hopper Wicks has got a big
Guess I'm playing against pros.
big fat donut. We go back to the melee. We are in the heart of things. Everybody has made their first move. Orish, we are back at the top with you. Damn, y'all hate this guy. You have advantage on all 3 of those rolls.
Why?
You can just right click, right? No. Press spacebar. Anyone hits. Oof. Go ahead and roll your 3rd attack first. Alrighty. And then go ahead and roll me 2 d20s real quick. Okay. I can ask you odds or evens, or I can pick you. And the reason I didn't do this with you, Brett, is because you actually got the same. You got the same effects twice. You can put yourself in a disadvantaged position, or you can deal damage to yourself. Critical fumbles. Just like you get bonuses for critical hits, you get points for critical fumbles. So you can either A, put yourself in a bad position, or you can deal damage to yourself. So I guess it would be in a worse position. You gotta pick one. Okay. You managed to slice yourself with your own blade, so you just deal normal damage and half it. So what is the damage that your sword does? 1d6 plus what? So go ahead and roll 1d6 plus 2. Just roll. I can tell you. 76. You got a 6? And then you half it. So you take 3 damage. So you got 8, so you take 4 damage. You roll up to Carradine, who is in a fully defensive stance. He's deflecting blows from left and right. Oh yeah, you hit him once in that. I think that, and you do manage to hit him once. So go ahead and roll damage if you want. Four damage. Alright. Strength save. You said DC 12. It's a plus 2. That's 14 plus 2. 60 he passes. As you reach in to disarm him, he traps your arm. Before attempting to disarm you, you manage to pull your arm out. Your blade spins in your hand as you fully Charlie horse yourself with the wooden sword. For 4 damage. He is grappled, but mean grappled. He's gonna try and break the grapple. Sir Fennel's grappled. Yeah. Scrivoia picked him up by his head. Yeah. He is grappled. He fails the grapple, for starters. And he's gonna try to attack Scrivoia. Disadvantage. Wow, that's so bad. 2 swings, 2 misses. Scrivoia is fully doing that thing where you put your hand on a toddler's head, and they're too short to swing at you. Except this time he's getting his face palmed by a T-bone steak. We move to Annabelle Cheddar off to the side here. So 5, 10, 15. She is fleet of foot. She still gets to make an attack. There is no flank. It's one strike. That is a hit. Woo! Whopping 15 damage. You see she runs over, jumps, puts her hand on the stone, leaps over it, lands next to him into a roll, and she goes, "Grassini, dear!" Grassini turns, and she fully comes up, just starts to, fully, chop this man down with her rapier. She goes, "It's best to keep your eyes on the prize, love," as she fully just starts to go in on this dude. Next is Scrivoia. Scrivoia's fully gonna throw this dude. Yeah, she's gonna throw him. Strength check. Yup. He's gonna make an athletics check. Yup. You see Scrivoia picking up by his head, cocks her arm back, and just full throws this dude across the battlefield. Lands in the sand. You see he fully lands face first, and gets just a mouthful of sand on the landing. Really hard landing. And then Scrivoia is going to make her way into the fray. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. She's going to take a swing. Oh, she can't swing. She already threw it. She can't go. Next is going to be Sir Carradine, who's going to take a step this way, provoke one attack of opportunity. From Amathar, who's going to take it. He's going to get crit by a barbarian.
Wait, aren't I in the 5-foot range too?
So, in 5th edition, you only provoke an attack of opportunity if he leaves your threatened square. He's still inside of your threatened square when he moves.
Damn.
But Carradine provokes an attack of opportunity from Amathar, and Amathar rolled a natural 20. Yeah. Which is... Holy Christ. That's a 10. I need a 12. 22 damage. As he tries to step away, and Amathar fully cocks back and golf swings this dude right in the back of his head. Pong! Loud reverberating metal as Carradine kind of starts to stumble a little bit to get his bearings. Nice. Big Red, you're up.
How's Carradine looking?
I mean, he looks a little beat up. He looks pretty good. You see that he hasn't taken a whole lot of damage in this. Like, he hasn't taken a lot of hits. It's just the hits that he has taken have been for like huge numbers. So he looks a little battered.
Word. Amathar, waiting for the end, right? You and me, old times.
You see Amathar looks at you and he goes, "You think after all these years you still stand a chance against me, boy?"
Guess we'll find out when all these other fuckers are dead.
Guess we shall.
And then I'm gonna, if it'll let me click my person, 5-foot step back, and we're swinging at the big one.
Okay, so you see how you left Carradine's, like 5-foot stepping isn't like a thing in like it is in Pathfinder where you can 5-foot step and not provoke. It is just if you leave their threatened square, you provoke. There's no movement around it, yeah. I think rogues can do it, like swashbuckling rogues can do it, but in general, I'm not saying you can't move, I'm just saying I'm letting you know what happens if you do.
Got it. Wait, if I stay there, can I just turn around and swing? But still 5 feet away from me?
You're within 5 feet of Scrivoia.
Oh, well then, yeah, I'm not gonna move.
Scrivoia's just massive. Like, technically she should be here, but... Yeah, like, you're still within the within the space to attack Scrivoia.
Oh, well, yeah, alright, then yeah, I'm not gonna move, and, a swing. Does a 21 hit?
21 certainly does. An unarmored stake woman? Yes.
That is the one that I'm gonna reroll. 9... and 4 is 12, 13. 13 slashing, 4 fire.
Damn. She is raging, so that is rounded up. So 7 damage, and then you said 4 fire?
Yeah.
So it's 11.
Wait. 9, and 4 is 13. 13 and 4 fire.
Right, but she's raging, so she takes
Oh.
half damage from non-magical attacks.
Damn.
So half of 13 rounded up would be 7 plus 3 is 11.
Got it.
You turn around, carve into her, and what you think is blood is just like meat juice that is just coming out. So like maybe might be blood. As you hit her, you watch the steak kind of like get real tender in that one spot. As it gets like really like full of like moisture, full of moisture. As you crack her with your greatsword. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No, that's it.
Alrighty. Now it's Grissini's turn. Grissini can't attack Carradine. He can't attack Cheddar, but he can attack 5, 10. I guess he can attack either of you, but you're ahead of him, so he's going to attack you. I don't know where my die. There it is. What's your AC?
18.
He misses. You see Grissini goes to stab at you with this wooden spear, and it fully connects with your armor, but like isn't enough thrusting power to like do anything. It's pretty much just like an annoying poke to the side as you ping. Feel like that sharp ping from the spearhead.
Thanks. We had a really bad itch there we needed taken care of.
You think yourself funny, huh? He says, you think yourself funny, great gumball. We move back to the archery competition. Wix, you are trailing 5 in third place, but behind 5 and 2 points. What's your play?
We're gonna stick with it.
Stick with it. Let's go. I like it.
Come on. 23.
20. Oh, you're about to be real mad. You shoot the crossbow bolt. You aim it up this time. Aiming slightly in the air to compensate for the drop. It rises, falls after the apex, barely misses. Like, just whizzes like just too short, lands in the post. And because it hits the post, it doesn't count, unfortunately. But you were very close.
Boy, oh boy.
Amathar, who's in the thick of it, is going to step here. Now, funny thing is that doesn't provoke an attack from Skrivoya, because Skrivoya's reach is 10 feet, so he technically hasn't left her threatened range. He is going to go after... What is... Actually, let me see... You see that he steps behind you, Red, gathering his surroundings, and he goes, he goes, oh, hello, Orish. I didn't even see you there. He goes, time for your first lesson in combat. He goes, and he says, he goes, remember on the carriage? Keep your guard up. And he swings at you. No, he doesn't. Big wide swing. You being tiny and nimble, the blade swings right over your head as you go back into your defensive stance. Yeah, he swings at you. You duck underneath it. You literally feel your ponytail just barely. He rolled a 4. He rolled a 4 plus 6. Whiffs past you and he says, "Good, good." He goes, "Now show your old man what you've learned." Which we will learn soon enough. We go back to the archery competition. She is down by 3. She's going to attempt to tie it by aiming for 3. You see that Lady Freesia, Lady Linguina Freesia is going to draw her bow back. It takes aim. String goes taut. She looses the arrow, goes wide, lands into the grass. She misses. Ooh. The score is still 5-2 to 0. We go back to, let me rename this mini so I stop forgetting. Okay. Up 5. He's gonna play it safe. Go for a 2. You see that Lord Chiquito looks at the two of you competing against him, gives you a smirk, and he says, "You know, you can give up at any time, Candian." He goes, "I know that the Candians are not known for their archery skills." Draws his bow back, takes the shot, slams it right into the chest of the armor. He goes up to 9 points. And you see that he kind of turns to you, Hopper, leans on the table, and kind of just goes like, you know, like, it's your turn, like, let's see what you got, but very much like he doesn't expect much from you. Back in the initiative, Orish, you're in the... We have officially turned the Grand Melee into a Grand Melee. On who? Same guy? 17 is a miss. You can roll it. Go ahead and roll again. So 2, you have advantage, so go ahead and roll. So 14 misses. Your first two are misses. Has advantage. What are you adding? Plus 3? Plus 4? 22 is a hit. Make sure you keep track of your superiority die. Superiority die have a pool. You have a pool of them. So you've done it twice already. So go ahead and roll 2 more I think it's what's a D6? An extra damage. So go ahead and roll 2 more D6. I'll add them real quick. So -1, -6, so -7. And you said he needs to make a strength save? You see that this whole you bang as he's parrying your blows with that shield, whatever. And at one point, you see that he reaches out, parries your blow. You fully reach into his guard, smack his hand with your wood sword, and his blade skates onto the ground, into the sand. He rolled a 3. Alrighty. Anything else? Sir Fennel's gonna stand up, having not been able to participate at all. Big old Grand Melee, but is still going to swing at Scrovoya, as as he has a grudge. He's rolling as bad as Max is. Oh, it's so bad. You see, he takes a swing at Scrivoia, and it just, like a loud meaty, as the blade sticks into her, like, the giant T-bone steak, but right in the fatty bits. So it doesn't even, like, hit anything but, like, almost like that rubbery, protective layer. Bounces off, and Scrivoia just kind of turns and just like, gives, like, a laugh at him. Disgusting. We move to Annabelle Cheddar. Annabelle is going to move here. And keep fighting Grassini. She's going to miss.
Wait, did you say Grassini or the carrot guy?
I'm sorry, Carradine. Yeah, that was my bad. I was looking at Grassini when I said it. What you want to do here? That is all she can do, unfortunately. She's gonna use her offhand to use her dagger. I forgot she had a dagger. So bonus act, that's a hit. There we go. D4, 2d6, because Aspen is within 5 feet. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 2 is 10 damage. She starts to chip away at Sir Carradine. Next is Scrivoia Miasso. Sees the two people in front of her. And there is no other better time than this, so I have to do it now, because me as a DM, I will never be able to do this again. She's gonna cleave all three of you.
Oh?
So she's gonna roll one for Fennel. It's cocked. That is a miss, though. Yes. What the fuck? Oh, thank God. Okay. So roll for the third one. Okay. You see big old steak, meaty claw, big meaty claw. Looks like the inside of like a lobster claw. You peel all the shell away. It's just like that big meaty inside. Rears its arm back and is going to swing for a giant cleave. You see Fennel immediately hits the ground, dodges to duck the ground. You turn, kind of like to see Fennel dodge it, but don't realize that she's continuing with the strike. You take...
Am I the only one that hit?
You take 22 points of bludgeoning damage.
Just me?
And Grassini takes... 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Why did I take so much?
She crit you, actually.
Oh my god.
And in fact, I actually rolled 2 20s, which is why I was like, oh god. So I rolled the third one, and it was a 5. So I was like, oh, thank god.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
Almost insta-killed. Even though we're using, like, you know, dull weapons, 320 is still an insta-kill, right?
Yeah, like...
320s is 320s. No,
That's like
no, that's the rules.
I think that's the rules. As much
That's
as-
the rules.
I think that's gay.
I think it is too, but
I think as a DM, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
320s is like the best, most lethal possibility that there is.
In a
Yeah.
non-lethal game.
It doesn't matter. It's 320s.
I don't know, man. So,
I'm on your side with this. 320s is 320s.
Sir Carradine is going to. Does he really want to provoke 5 attacks of opportunity right now?
Yes, he does.
Nah. He's gonna take the dodge action. Oh wait, no. He's a paladin. He's a fucking paladin. He can take the dodge bonus action, and he's gonna turtle, and he's going to ready an action. Because he's not picking up that flail and taking 5 attacks of opportunity. Hell no! Oh, technically it would only be 4, because Grassini can't make one because he's within melee. He's too close with a spear. Carradine is the one who's turtling. Carradine right here, if he were to pick up his weapon, he provokes attack of opportunity from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. But technically it's only 4 because Grassini has a spear, and he can't do it within 5 feet. So he's just gonna go, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm just gonna put my shield here. He's gonna do the dodge. Dodge is bonus action. Red, you are up.
Yeah, I don't like being hit like that. So, Scrivoya, we're gonna take a swing at. Oh, that's a crit.
Let's go!
19.
Champion crits.
And then 15 plus 21 to confirm.
21. So you don't have to confirm in 5th edition. If you
Oh.
if you crit, you crit. So
Or,
if
what
you
is
roll
it?
a 19,
Double
you crit.
damage?
So what is the damage? What is it? He's a champion fighter. They crit on 19 or 20. What is the damage box? What does it say for the damage of your weapon?
2d6 plus 4 slashing, 1d6
Okay.
fire.
So you do 2d6 maximum. So 6 is, so you do 12 plus 4, which is 16 damage, and then you said 1d4 fire?
D6.
1d6. So 12, 16 plus 6. So
22.
you do 22 damage, and then you roll your damage.
Okay.
Damn.
I got a 1 on the fire that I can reroll. 3 fire. 7 and 4 is 11 slashing.
11 slashing plus the 20. Wait, plus the. Was it 16? Yeah, plus so 11. So you do 27 points of fucking slashing damage. So 13. So 14 rounded up. So that would be. So she takes 14 damage. 42. Yikes.
And then, as a bonus action, I'm gonna second wind.
Heal up. Good call. Good call. Go ahead and roll it.
So, heal 7.
She crits you. You crit her right back.
I guess I'll put that in here so you can see my HP.
It's up to you. I do it because I have 1,001 miniatures I have to watch over.
But yeah, I'm not provoking all those attacks of opportunity to move, so I'm not moving.
It depends on where you moved, because you might only provoke 1, maybe 2.
I'd provoke fucking
Fennel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's rolling like shit anyways. But I'm not risking it.
Alrighty. Tight. We move to Hopper. You still want that if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
What, I got like 5 arrows left?
No. So you don't have 5 arrows. You have pretty much like you have a certain stockpile of arrows there. You actually look down. You've shot twice, so you actually have 3 arrows left.
Ooh. Alright, we're gonna go for what are the 5-pointer?
5-pointer? All right.
Yeah.
Roll it. Let's see what you got. This is your chance to sweep in a second. We'll tie for second. plus what?
5.
Plus
it's supposed to
5?
be 16.
Is 16. You racking another bolt. You see this giant banana over on the side staring at you. Who's egging you on to get some points on the board. You know, Candians aren't known for their archery after all. You load the bolt in, aim down the sight. You let that bitch fly. Watch it sail through the air. As the bolt nails the helmet of the statue. You are officially on the board, tied for second at 5 points. 2 shots left.
All right.
The score as of right now is 9-5 to 5 over in the archery range. We go back to the melee with Amathar, who is going to he took a swing at these two. Now he's going to take a swing at Annabelle Cheddar, just because he likes to. He's just trying to swing and have a good time. He whiffs. Since nobody's flanking with him and he can't do anything out, he swings and whiffs at her, and he goes, oh, Annabelle, I didn't even see you there. He says, you're much older than I remember. And she goes, I best keep your eyes on the prize, king. She goes, lest I sweep this wind from under ya. The two of them share a little cheeky ass smile. We go back to the archery range. Lady Fettuccina Freesia, tied with Hopper Wicks of Candia, for second place, takes aim. She draws her bow, and I think she is going to play it safe and just kind of inch out ahead of you and roll for a 1-pointer. She releases the arrow, and the only reason she hits this is because she has a positive to her fucking her bow proficiency, because otherwise that doesn't hit shit. But she takes aim and easily nails the 1-pointer in the front with a nice shot. She edges in front of you, Hopper, by 1 point. You are now officially in third for the archery challenge. We go to Lord Chiquito, who is ahead with 9-6 to 5. Is going to even things out by also going for... holy fuck. Huh. Okay. Let's narrate this. He watches you immediately come onto the board, Wix. As you nail that 5-pointer down the lane, he looks at you, gives a cheeky smile, one that is very cocky, knowing that he's going to walk away with this, is staring at your booth as the two of you and Lady Fettuccina take your shots. He's looking at you, draws his bow, and if are you looking at the map at all?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to see what's about to happen. Okay? He's looking at you, not looking at the lane, draws his arrow and looses it. And hits one of your targets. You see that the crowd goes stunned. The announcer who is announcing the thing goes, well, I suppose from a technicality, Hopper Wicks of Candia gets a point because of a fault on Lord Chiquito. You watch as a bunch of Fruit Terrans immediately are like, boo, 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 just immediately start booing. As you see that Lord Chiquito puts his bow down, eyes go wide, and he drops to his knees, as he is clearly, doesn't know if he's like, it's like, am I being shunned right now because of what I did? Or is it a pride thing?
Well, thank you, Sir Banana Man.
He is fully looking out into the range, seeing one of his arrows, because all of the arrows that are in your lane are all crossbow bolts. This is very clearly like a feathered arrow just stuck in the chest of one of the things. Wild. Orish. At the top of the initiative, it is your turn. Before you act, you see, because you are right in the heart of it, Amathar clutches his side, winces in pain, drops to the ground, and starts making death saves.
He's having a heart attack, isn't he?
You watch him fully drop to the ground and is fully unconscious and is like a visible puddle of blood of rainbow blood is like rainbow sugary candy blood is starting to wet the sand. Amathar is not just injured, he's dying. Oh, tight. Sorry. I thought you were just saying. I didn't know what you were saying. So what does that do? What is? Your martial arts die, I believe it's a D6, right?
Wait, what hit him that he started dying like that?
Your martial arts die is a D4. You don't get a D6 till next level. So it's a D4 plus your wisdom modifier. Damn! 5 points of health are immediately restored to Amathar, who comes to conscious as you reach down and use some of your sugary goodness to close the wound. Amathar is on the ground, though, in a very vulnerable position. He's at 5 hit points. He was at 0 and dying, but now he's at 5. So yeah, like he's conscious now and attacks against him. Here's the other thing. I wanted to, because Red, you asked an interesting question. Whatever just hit him just now is a blade, like is a pointed, something pointed. Whether it was like a bullet, an arrow, a blade, whatever, it's pointed and is meant to puncture skin, because he's bleeding from a wound. He's not. No, you're not out here. It's no longer about bruises and stuff. He's fully bleeding out. But you see it. Oris reaches down, gives him a heal. As he sits up.
Can I make a reactive perception for him going down, though?
Yes.
Uh, 18.
18. Oris, you can make a reactive perception as well if you'd like. No. You get a free skill check every round, or every round. Well, every turn essentially. Big Red has already used his, so if he wants to do another skill check on his turn, it's gonna cost him a bonus action. But you get a free one every time. 10. You guys are in legitimately SRO, standing room only. But you guys did not see, and yes, even with your perception score,
Damn.
what just happened? You just watched him wince in actual agonizing pain, drop to the sand and start dying. But something is there's like foul play. Okay. Okay. If you prefer to roll real dice, you can. Mine ain't here. You roll it. I'll clear it. Do you have to make an unarmored strike, or an unarmed strike, or can you just make a strike? Oh, there you go. So if you're using a monk weapon, it's damage is huge.
Right, but do you want me to re-roll the 6? Because I counted the 6.
Okay, that's fine. So how much damage was it?
6
6
points.
points.
And then I would like to use my hands of harm to do extra necrotic damage to carry.
Shit. Okay.
Well, I'd like to roll a stealth check.
24. Okay. Go on a roll stealth check. Are you trying to like disguise it in the midst of combat? Is that what you're trying to do?
I just don't want anyone to know I use magic.
So give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, yes I did.
You, seeing your dad go down, you reach over and almost like shielding the act of like, first off, the act of fully healing your dad in the midst of like.
Oh yeah, I forgot to
I'll say with a natural 20, you cover that one up too. Bam, and then you fully pull back. Boo, 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 boo. As you cut him across the thing, you immediately gripping the end of the blade, feel that dark energy from your monk path. Do you have a sugary candy dessert name for your monk path yet? The Way of Mercy. Are you the Way of Sweetness? Is that what it is? There's the
It's the chocolate. It's merci, like thank you in French.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Oh, that's funny. The Way of Merci. As you grip the blade, crack Carradine over the top. You watch some of his like. This is like the most vegetable of vegetables. So like the green vegetables are like the greenest of green. The yellows are the yellowest of yellows. You watch that bright, leafy green armor that he has get hit, and the leaves start to die on it as you crack him with your wooden sword. Damn. All right. It is, well, yeah, before you end your turn, I'm going to tell everybody who's in the melee and stuff like that. If you want to continue the fight, you can. Understand that like a kind of like a wrench has been thrown into the fight now. If you'd like to try to stop it, you can also do that. Just keep your you know, keep your wits about you. Can you hit Amathar? You can hit Amathar. So technically he dropped unconscious, so yes, technically he's out.
So then nobody can hit him. By rules.
Well,
This is not to the death, this is to the out.
right.
He said that. So he's fine.
Right. Okay. What I'm telling you is I'm saying that you're not wrong. But also, this is supposed to be a blunt weapons and like basically you guys hitting each other with bats the whole time, and somebody has quite literally stabbed or shot Amathar, and he was dying a second ago. He wasn't just knocked down to the point of like he's incapacitated. So you're right in what the rules are, but clearly someone's not playing by the rules. With that being said, is at the end of your turn.
Why is quick computing the bonus action that he says as an action?
What? Oh, I don't know. Probably mistyped or something. It's an action. No. If anything, you for sure can't stand in his space if he's down. No, you can't. Amathar's a big guy, so in a 5-foot square, he takes up most of it. Like, is that your turn?
Yeah, I feel like that.
Alrighty. Roll.
Solly, when you get a second, look at your Discord message.
Alrighty.
Got it.
He is going to look at Amathar, Fennel, sees that he's bleeding, because it's not... The thing that was hidden was what the injury was, not so much the aftermath of it. So he sees that there's blood, like sugary candy blood on the ground. He kind of, like, takes a look at it, looks up towards the stands to see what the call is, and you see that the only person that's, like, really, monitoring, like, there's obviously an official, but for the most part, people are, like, looking at Brassica for, like, to kind of see what she says, and just before she calls it, he suddenly, like, kicks back up, and he's just like, no, like, I'm good, like, I'm okay. That was the natural 20 sleight of hand by Orish, by the way. Is like, oh, okay, he's good, so I guess the fight is still on, and he's going to say, he's going to turn to you, Red, full plate, closed fortress helmet, and he just goes, should we continue to fight Scravoya, or should you tend to your king?
You take Scravoya, I'll tend to my king.
You see they go, right, but this isn't over. And they're going to attack Scravoya. No, he's not. Swings at Scravoya against giant 12-foot meat patty, meat steak. Thwack, 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 thwack. Just a bunch of just soaking the blows and them not doing absolutely anything. And then it's going to take a step this way. You get an attack of opportunity if you want it.
Nope.
Okay. We move to Cheddar. Annabelle is going to also roll. Annabelle was going to direct the question to you, Orish. And when she says, so what'll it be, dearie? You'll call the fight in regards to your father? Or do you see it to the end? You see that she says, right. She says, then I'll see you at the end. And you see that she's going to lunge for Carradine. That is a hit. With the first one, short sword. 10, 13. She might finish him off here. That's two 17s, which is a hit.
17's a hit.
She rolled a 17 on the die.
Oh.
God damn it. You see, she steps forward. Two-hand fighting with a fencing sword, like a fencing foil and a dagger in one hand. King. Just starting to fully dismantle Carradine. But even after that big old flurry, Carradine manages to somehow stay on his feet, turning. And he goes, ha ha! The righteous light of the bold protects me. Not even your blows can bring me to my knees. But I do like the gusto. We go to Scravoya. Scravoya is going to grapple you, Red. She's gonna attempt to. So go ahead and roll me an opposed athletics check, please.
That is an 8.
Oh God. You see Scrivoya backhands Fennel, lifts you up, and as she backhands Fennel, Fennel goes flying onto his ass, but like goes down and doesn't stand back up. Like fully just.
Before she.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Before she tries to grab me, wait. Let me get him out of here, and then we can have our fun.
You see, she goes. That's what she says. Attacks Fennel. He goes down. You see they slide across the ground. And reaches out, grabs you, says that, lifts you up. You are considered grappled. We move to Carradine. You see that Carradine turns to Grassini. He's gonna roll against Grassini. Hit. That is 10 damage. Oh, I'm sorry. I should. Well, let's do this right now. Before I take the damage away from Grassini, he's going to make the move for his flail. So, he provokes 3 attacks of opportunity from Annabelle, Orish, and Big Red.
What's my disadvantage that I get for being grappled?
It's just you just roll with disadvantage.
Okay.
Annabelle is rolling with advantage because she's a swashbuckler. Orish is rolling a straight roll. Holy Christ. Okay.
Yeah, I had a 9.
And Annabelle had a 7. That was her highest roll, was a 7. So, somehow, miraculously, Carradine picks up his flail and smacks Grassini in the back of the head with it. Wild. Only in D&D. You are grappled, being kind of suspended in the air there, but it is your turn.
What is it to break the grapple?
Athletics. You have to beat her in an athletics check.
What's the DC?
There's no DC. You just have to. There's a roll off, and if you win, you break the grapple.
Oh, okay.
That
is a 9.
9? All right, let me roll. That's a 9 on the die, so she beats you. I mean, assume you had a 9 total, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a 9 on the die, and she has a +5 strength. So.
Damn it. Is that my move action then?
No. That's to break a grapple. That would be a bonus action since it's not a passive skill check. So it's a bonus action. You still have your action and your movement, but your movement is 0 because you're grappled.
Can I swing at her arm?
You can swing, yeah.
I already failed this. Oh, and the second one was a crit. Damn it. 9 at the arm.
9. Nope. You hit the arm, just a loud as it lands into that meaty thunk. And you see that she's just like looking at you, brings her close to her, like one of her eyes, like one of her T-bone steak eyes, just like as you just hit her, you're again just kicking, like trying to get her to let you go. But she has an iron grip. Is that your turn?
Orish, take him and run. Your dad. That's my turn.
All right. Grassini is going to take a step backwards, so he can finally use his spear again.
Hey, is that out of my range?
It is. But you used your reaction on Carradine to make an attack of opportunity, so you don't have a reaction anymore. and he's going to stab at you with his spear. You are grappled, so that's avantage. Yes, sir. 11. You take 18 points of piercing damage.
I'm at 0.
Woo! You see he step back, takes a stab at you, and it's a blunt spear. It's a wooden bat essentially, and he stabs you into the side of your head. You feel like you see the stars, you see a bright white light, and next thing you know, you fall limp in Scravoya's hands. You, sir, are down. But you know who's not down? This crazy-ass archery tournament that's happening on the other side. Hopper Wicks, might I remind you, the score is now 9-6-6, and it is your shot.
We're gonna, keep it on the 5.
You're going for another 5.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and roll. 10.
Yeah.
You load the bolt, you take the shot, and again, you watch as it flies past your intended target, landing somewhere in the grass off to the side. And as you shoot that bolt, you look right down back onto the station in front of you to see one single bolt in front of you left. Next shot is going to determine the state of the is where you're standing in the tournament, whether you win or if you lose. Amathar lies on the ground, unconscious. Not unconscious, he's conscious, but he is out of the tournament. You see that he is going to kind of like take out one of his neckerchiefs, tie it around like his neck, not like as a noose. Don't be weird. Kind of just to show that he's out essentially, and he's going to walk off. Amathar is leaving the stadium because he's out. Yep. Okay. He's not going to be able to make it the whole way. But you see he starts to walk out. Fettuccina Friscia lines up to take a shot. She needs 3 points to tie. She needs 4 points to pull ahead. She's been going back to back with Hopper Wicks, who, quite frankly, she can't understand how he's still in this game. But she's gonna shoot for 4 to try and inch out ahead and leave it to a skill shot for the last shot. And with a 19 on the die, Lady Fettuccine Friscia lands her shot on the 4-pointer, bringing the score now 10 to 9 to 6 as she pulls ahead. Lord Chiquito Citron sees what Lady Friscia is attempting to do. He is 1 point behind her, so he will again shoot for 1 point. Yep. Thus tying the tournament at 10 to 6. Tie for first, and Hopper Wicks sitting there at third with 6 points. Top of the initiative with Orish Rocks. On Carradine? Well, Carradine's AC, unfortunately, is 18. That's a hit. Okay. 14.
14. And then.
To. Okay. Yep. Red, you are healed 3 points as you come back to consciousness.
14 points
I didn't say that. I was
I'm
gonna
healed
say
3.
you healed 3, but unfortunately you did drop to 0, so you are out of this tournament. No, if he's unconscious, he's got to get wheeled out.
Oh, but he's fine, right? He's safe?
Yeah, you can just see that he's...
Healing him doesn't bring him back up into the game?
Correct, because he
Can I adapt my heal?
Yeah. When you drop to 0, you're out of the tournament.
Oh,
You're fine. Like I said, remember, the rules are just that you guys are just kind of beating the hell out of each other. You guys have bruises and black eyes at most.
Okay, I'm gonna read it. Oh, wait, no,
I was waiting for you.
You know what? My third hit, can I not hit him? Can I hit her?
You absolutely can. What was your third roll?
19.
19 hits, yeah.
So, 4 points of damage to Scrivoya.
You can't reach Scrivoya. You can reach Annabelle, who I thought you were talking to.
Oh,
You can move where you can move. So come down 1. Oh, sorry. My screen's this way. That's why I was like, come down. You can stand essentially right here. Yeah, next to that corner. If you wanted to give that third strike to Scrivoya.
nobody's gonna rip this bitch out yet? Come with me.
It's been like 6 seconds. Okay. What does it look like as you flurry Karen for the last time?
I mean, nothing crazy.
So you see that Carradine is standing there. He's picked up his flail, has hit Grassini with it, turns back to you. You're fully not there. As he comes back around, he goes, Princess, where have you gone, Princess? And you just kind of like tap him on the back. And you're just like, back here. He turns around, sees you, and you, whoop-ah, bah, 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 as you just start to like dance around him, hitting in all of his like his knees, his elbows, into his neck, top of his head, was just a flurry of sword blows, ping, 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 putting giant like dents in his like leaf green armor. Last time he just like jump 360, take the last blade to the side of his carrot head. Loud clank as it collides with his helmet, and you see that Carradine is down.
Alright, now we will both be business out.
How much damage did you do, Scrivoya? 4? Okay. You start to see some of the meat. Like, what was it? What did you hit her with? Was it with the sword? Yeah, okay. Scrivoya's gotten really tender as this fight has gone on. It's alarming. So next is... So Fennel is no longer in the order. Huh? Fennel is out. She's going to close the gap with Grassini so he can't use his spear. 2 attacks. Hit. Hit. No no sneak attack. So 6, and then the other one is a dagger. 4, so 10 damage to Grassini. You see, she jumps over Carradine, draws with Grassini, and she goes, "Sorry, dear, but she goes, this one is for the Dairy Isles." As she starts to, as she starts to fight Grassini, who is a long-range fighter, and she is not. Scrivoia gets hit by you, so she's gonna hit you back. This time with her weapon. Well, slash 7. What's your AC? Is it 14 hit? Okay. Oh my god. You take 6 points of damage as you walk up, hit her in her like giant T-bone body, and she just goes to smack you, and it just kind of clips you. That was a 1 on the D12. So Carradine, who is out. Big Red, who is out. Next is Grassini, who cannot be this close. You see Grassini is contemplating what the hell he should do because he can't really move anywhere. Annabelle, who is currently like fully engaged in him on at this point, and she goes, "Well, go on, Grassini, make your move." She goes, "There is no running from me." You see he's going to try to take a 5-foot step backwards, and as he does, she's going to use her attack. Oh, it's the top of the round. There's no attack opportunities. So she's go. She has a reaction back, is what I'm saying. Because she spent it last round, so she didn't spend it this round. Attack of opportunity using her short sword. You boy. Wisdom save. Oh god. Oh god. You see, she engaged with Grassini. Grassini, who has just dropped red, is kind of like flurrying, spinning the spear around and whatnot. She reaches her hand out for an attack of opportunity, and he spins it around his neck like a bow staff, for fully extending it out with one arm, a full 10 feet, cracks her on the side of the head, and you see that she is fully like she's not unconscious, but she is dizzy. Like her bell just got mega rung. So we'll see that happen next. The moment everybody's been waiting for. One arrow, one round left in the chamber. Hopperwick steps to the plate with a single arrow left to fire. He is down by 4 points to tie. He needs 5 to inch ahead by 1. So Hopperwicks, what do you want to do? Uh-oh. Max. Damn, so close.
I feel like he would go for the 5.
You think you go for the 5?
I think he'd go for the 5.
I agree. You think you go for the 10?
I don't think he's going for the 10. I think he's going to stick with the 5.
Well, it'd be 5 to win by 1, but he wouldn't be winning because the other 2 go after him. So if they get
No way he wins.
if they get 2, he loses.
He's only got 1 chance to win.
So he has to go for the 10. All right. Guess I'm rolling in front of the board. Here we go. That's a 3. Shane, there's a 19 right there, too. There's a 15, damn. Fortunately, last shot goes wide. Going for the gold. Unable to clutch it out, perhaps. Perhaps it was the stress of it all. King Amathar exits the Colosseum. You see he eventually appears at the Candian stand with Calroy to watch the fight. Fettuccina, who's tied at 11, or tied at 10. Technically, Fettuccina has a higher wisdom than Chiquito does. So, I think she goes for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then... both of them draw arrows. And... as both of them loose those arrows, it proves that perhaps, your daily dose of fruit is all you need as Lord Chiquito nat 20s the fucking 10-pointer. Inching ahead to 20, or inching ahead, landsliding his way to first place. Lord Chiquito takes the win in favor of Fructera. As a banana archer. Alrighty. Huh? Alrighty. Now comes those final moments where one Candian, one Dairy Isles, one Ceresian, and one Meatlander reside in the center of the Grand Melee. For it all. Let's get down to it. Orange Rocks, you're up. Oh, I guess I should say before your turn starts, the medics come and wheel everybody off. He's definitely a little bit bloodied. He's definitely bloodied. He's beaten up pretty bad. People haven't been attacking Grassini, so you gotta remember that. How'd that meat look? Yeah, Scramoya is very hard. Alrighty. Scravoya. Where'd you roll them? I have to right click them to make them go away then. Other than the spike pit. There you go. But yeah, Scravoya is going to take that attack of opportunity. Okay. You take using Hellish Rebuke?
Yep.
Okay. Are you hiding that you're using magic? You can. Just know, since it's verbal, you can use deception, and it's somatic, you can use sleight of hand to try to hide it, if that's something you want to do. Damn, I watched that rock from a 7. $16 misses, $17, $19 hit. Damn. Did you roll 2 6s?
16 damage.
Jesus.
And then I would like to
You want your hands upon and say what again?
I'll have to hide it. So I have to
Okay. It'd be sleight of hand, yeah. What is it altogether?
14.
14? Okay.
And then
Okay. So you can only use your reaction when it's not your turn. Well, I guess unless it says otherwise. Yeah, I think Hellish Rebuke is an exception. Yeah, it's a reaction, but it has there's a cliff note which says when you in response to taking damage from a creature within 60 feet. So it's one of the exceptions to the rule of reactions. That you did or you did not? It's up to you. Like I said, because it's verbal or somatic, though, you have to use deception or sleight of hand to try and hide it. Stealth would be like. Okay. Fair. Sleight of hand. Alrighty. Okay. Dex save. She's not very dexterous. Alright. So, nat 1 minus 2 is negative 1. No.
1 minus
2 is negative 1.
So what's her stupid nat 1 shit to make us do?
It's just for a save. It's not. She didn't try to hit you. Critical fumbles are only for attacks. Oh my god. Jesus! What a turn!
14.
Did you roll it twice? Oh yeah, you. Not looking great. You can actually smell the garlic and the onions and the mushrooms and that good old that seasoning from her getting cooked up.
I'm 5 foot away from you.
Yep.
You can't do
Correct.
anything. So I'm not moving.
Alrighty. Annabelle Cheddar is going to Whoop. She's in a bad spot, actually. She's already fighting Grassini, so she's gonna... She literally can't move. Okay. She's gonna make an attack on Scrivoia. It's a disadvantage because she's fucking dazed. Plus 4. No, 5. She's 17. 17 hits Scrivoia. She cannot benefit from flanking, so she doesn't crit. Or she doesn't do sneak attack. That was her critical fumble. So she does 5 damage to Scrivoia. And then she's going to use fancy footwork to move forward to here. And Scrivoia actually cannot take an attack of opportunity on it because fancy footwork. But Scrivoia has her turn next, so she's just going to walk over here.
Oh my God.
5, 5, 5. That's all within 5 feet.
No, we're not.
You about to cleave again?
She's gonna cleave.
No. I am not within 5 feet.
So
Can't see me.
Annabelle Cheddar is rolled with advantage. Yep. Grassini miss. And then Orish hits.
Of course it fucking does.
Alright, before I do that, I should... Okay. Make sure I write this in so I don't mess it up. Cool. Dear fucking God. Miss. You take 4 points of damage. 2-1-1. Scrivoia don't play no damn games. Alright. Commander Grassini hates this situation. Oh, Grassini, what do you have, dog? What do you got? What you got, dude? Other than
Little knife in his back pocket.
Oh, I don't think he has a fucking choice. The only thing he has is his spear. I think he has to move. I don't think he has a choice. He's gonna do that. She can take reactions, but they're at disadvantage. So she's gonna do this one. Oh no, it's Grassini's turn, so she has to actually roll a wisdom save. DC 15 plus 2, that's a fail. So this attack is with disadvantage. Nope, not a hit. She swings at Grassini and she clearly can't fucking see straight. Alrighty. Go over here. Edit initiative. Take these 3 out. Apply. Alrighty. Top of the the initiative, Orish. It's your turn. How many key points do you have left?
Definitely not the keys that I have. How many should I have? I only have 4, right?
I think so. I don't think you have any more. Yeah, you only have 4. Yes. Remember, you can always open the chat log to see what you rolled last. If it's easier for you, you can actually there's a tracker for you on Tailspire for you to track your key points in the future. Yeah. Like I said, it's totally fine now. Just like from here on, like, just know you don't have the key points. I'll tell you what though, these health totals are closer than you think they are. Closer than you think they are. Is it not what's on here? I just right clicked your thing, but if you haven't changed it, then it's wrong.
No, I haven't touched it. I didn't know you. I guess we're just gonna go on
70 hits. You can still do martial arts. It doesn't cost a key point. Martial arts doesn't. Flurry of blows does. Okay, night. Those both hit. Seven. 11. Ooh. Alrighty. You you're dueling with Grassini over there. Annabelle's dueling with Stravoia. Two different fronts battling it out. We move to Annabelle. Who?
You said it was close. 11 didn't kill it? Damn.
Nah.
Not that. You lied, you motherfucker.
I didn't lie.
Not close.
That is
Close is like 2 points.
That's not true. She gets a wisdom save. There it is. Annabelle's back in it. So this attack is you would. She's gonna move 5 feet for the advantage. Stravoia. 13 plus 5, which is a hit. She gets sneak attack. 13, 14, 15, 16. Switching to dagger. That's another hit. You see that Stravoia turns, reaches down to like grab Annabelle. Annabelle dexterously dives out of the way after like finally shaking out of it. Takes her dagger, stabs it into the forearm of Stravoia, using it to perch herself up on the arm. Runs up Stravoia's arm, jumps, and just begins a flashy flurry of rapier strikes through Stravoia before finally one big old smack at the top of the head. Stravoia crumbles underneath the last blow, and and Shkravoya goes down. You see Annabelle lands and kind of like wobbles a little bit, starting to showing some pretty serious signs of damage, as she just goes, "All right, your turn, girly."
Well, it's not.
Commander Rossini's turn. He does not necessarily have the HP to use his spear. So I feel like he's just gonna try to punch you in the face. Yeah.
No, he's definitely a tail.
He's not proficient,
I know it's for sure the target.
so it only adds his strength to hit. And with a +3 strength, that's an 11. You see Grassini plants his spear in the ground, reaches out, whiffs, hits nothing but air as you bob and weave out of the way. Some of that like sneaking out and boxing just like finally came in as you're just like, that was a lazy punch. You are able to dodge it. Boris, you're up. What are you doing right now? What's like your play right now?
Rolling to hit.
Against Rossini?
Yeah.
So why'd you roll twice?
Because I got bonus action.
Right. You should probably see what happens after the first one before you roll your second one.
Doesn't matter.
It really does.
The first one was a 19.
No, it hits. The first one hits for sure. Three. Alrighty. You crack smack Rossini. Rossini still stands.
Do it, you fucking shitball. 17?
17 hits.
5?
You crack him across the face, wind up, come back with the second cleaver around the other way, catching nothing but skull with the flat of the blade. His helmet fully turns 180, making the face part go to the back of his head as he stumbles around backwards, aimlessly, foot steps in between two rocks, trips him over, lands on his back. Grassini is out. And with that, we turn to the last two in initiative. You sure can.
What do you plan to do with your favor?
You see, she goes, I plan to get Primsy's mate. I plan to get his debt removed so that he.
You can't think of anything better than that.
She said, you see that she says, of course I can, but
You won't use this favor that you've worked so hard for on yourself? I hear you're in a bit of a pill.
you see, she goes, you gotta understand, I love being better than everyone here in the mainland as much as the next guy, but I love my country more, and I love my sister even more. She looks at you, she goes, aye lass, but it's Primsy's turn now. Alrighty, it's Annabelle's turn. It's safe to say the two of you are no longer allies. So she doesn't get sneak attack regardless. So, She's gonna roll an attack. That's another 11. And that one's a 17.
I'm down. Doesn't matter what she rolls, I'm down.
You only have what, 1 HP?
No.
How much HP do you have? 2? Oh. Yeah, that's a. I mean, yeah, it's a 1 on the die. She has a plus 3 dex. That's a 4. Yeah. You see, she says, "You remind me a lot of Primsy. You know, you're both so."
I don't say that. Nope.
She goes, "I hope the two of you could be friends one day." You see, she fully feints you with the rapier, baits out your parry, your block with your sword, and she fully comes underhand with her dagger and just like knuckle blows you, punch you across the jaw with her hand as you fall to the ground. The last one standing, and you hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, after a long, grueling battle in the Grand Melee, one winner stands, and she of the Dairy Isles, Lady Annabelle Cheddar." You see Manta Ray Jack, who's up in the center, is like, "Yeah!" He's like, "That's right!" He goes, "That's right! There is nothing stronger than us of the cheese! Nothing else of House Cheddar lives on! Keep sharp!" And you see that Morris is just like, "Manta Ray, please, you've got to calm down." He's like, "She's won! Isn't that enough?" He goes, "It's not enough! It's about the message!" You see that she is flowers and coins are thrown into the arena. You guys are brought off by the medical staff as you are brought to from being unconscious, just kind of like being not necessarily off of not being you're not really unconscious, you're more just like beaten to the point where you can't fight anymore. You guys are brought back to your feet. As Annabelle walks through, we pan to the top of the we pan back to the why can't I think of the word? The booth with the Candians, the Candians booth. There we go. And yeah, not for you. Where we see now is Calroy, King Amathar, and Big Red, who are deep in conversation. Where he says, "Amathar, is everything all right? I saw you fall in there. What is it?" He goes, "Calroy, things have gotten worse." Red, at this point, you have come up the stairs, seeing Amathar, who was just being treated by the medic. Yep, stabbed to the wood. And you can see very clearly the stab wound in his back, even though it's like small, like it's you can see from this close. It's clearly not from like an arrow or anything like that. Roll me a medicine check if you would.
Medicine check?
Yes.
Ten.
10. Being this close, you can 100% see that it's from the blade of a knife, the blade from a dagger. Not just that, but you can see all Candians, whether you're candy or dessert, are made from, sugar, like sugary skin and stuff like that. Whatever stabbed him, luckily it's healed now, so you can see kind of like this crazy looking scar in his back. Whatever stabbed him dissolved the sugary skin. Like it almost like melted the back of his skin, and it was, it's kind of like you almost like you understand now. Whatever was stabbed him and did all of that damage, is especially deadly to Candians. So it's not just an assassination attempt, it's somebody who knows how to kill Candians is trying to kill the royal family. And with that realization, we will stop tonight's session on episode 2 of A Crown of Candy. Guys, if you made it this far, thank you. Otherwise it'll be on the VODs for you to review at a later date. That being said, this has been your Adventurer's Guide, reminding you that it could always be worse.
Be worse.
We will see you guys next week with episode 3 as things get a little wild. As things start to turn on their heads. I know our players aren't ready, but the better question is, are you at home? This is us signing off. Have a good one. And like I said, we'll see you next week. Bye!